Hello. It's good to see you. This setup is a little more informal than my normal informal setup because it's a little after 10 o'clock at night on a Monday night, and I really should be getting ready for bed. But I was going to read some of this to you last night, but I wasn't feeling well. I had a really bad headache. I barely got through the outfits video. I was already not feeling well. And I thought if I started feeling better, I would try to read some of this, but I just never felt any better, so I was feeling pretty bad last night. But I'm good now, and I'm not going to get terribly far, but I wanted to read at least a little bit to you for those of you who've been waiting to hear more. I'm going to read a little bit more of this for you, just sitting here. I hope that's okay. All right. I just took a shower, and I'm just like, whatever. Anyway, so we are up to chapter 37 in part 1. Now, I do specify that it's part 1 because there will be a part 2, and when we get to part 2, the chapters start all over again. So I have to specify this is part 1, chapter 37. Okay. Jerry tossed the key fob for the Tesla to the valet in front of the gentleman's club and smiled. "Look at it," he said, making a sweeping gesture at the front of the building. "I swear it looks nicer now than it did on opening night." They were greeted by a lovely lady in a long sequin gown at the front door. She pressed a few keys on a concealed keypad, the doors opened, and she motioned for them to enter. Jerry gasped as they stepped inside. "Wow, is it just me, or is this place super awesome?" Aiden smiled. "I'm glad you like it. I did make a few changes. See the olive bar over there? That's new. I also added a small room with a hot tub just over there. It'd be nice for an intimate gathering." "Can I see it?" "Not at the moment. The governor is in there." Are you serious? What's he doing here?" "Having a delightful evening, I'm sure." "Who else is here?" "Let's go upstairs and find out." The two were escorted up the grand staircase to a large room. It was filled with elegantly attired people, some of whom Jerry recognized. They stood in the doorway. Jerry grabbed Aiden's arm. "Hey, that guy's on TV. Channel 2, right? I saw his face on a bus one time. That lady's a real estate person, I think. What are all these people doing here on a weeknight?" "You'll have people like this visiting your establishment as long as we work together." A server came by with a tray of cocktail shrimp. Jerry started to grab a handful, but then thought better of it. "So like for the rest of my life? As long as you hold up your end of things, yes." "There's nothing for me to hold up," Jerry said. "You get my soul. I think I've done enough." Aiden turned to face him, a thin, tight smile on his lips. "Just don't do anything to get on my bad side, and you'll be fine." "Now, I wouldn't do that. Shoot, I'll probably be the easiest person you've ever worked with." "I'm sure." Aiden gazed off in the distance, observing the crowd. "I'm sure. Let's go mingle." "Work on that history and mystery," Jerry said. "Right, but follow my lead." He nodded at a man about 10 feet away who was chatting with one of the performers. "Let's use him to do a broad overview of the past I prepared for you. If you don't like it, I'll wipe his memory and we can start over." "You can do that?" "Of course. Come on." They approached the man. "Hello there," Aiden said. "James, right?" The man smiled and shook his hand. "That's correct, but I'm afraid I don't remember your name." "Aiden Gervais. I'd like to introduce you to Jerry McAvoy. He's the owner of Pure Platinum." James reached out and shook Jerry's hand with gusto. "It's a real honor to meet you. Everyone's talking about this place. It's really elegant, beautiful. It's almost impossible to get a membership here." "Oh, I'm very sorry about that," Jerry said. "Let me see what I can do to fix that." Aiden cut him off. "Of course, we pride ourselves in running the most exclusive gentlemen's club in the country," he said to James. "Only the best of the best can avail themselves of our services. The finest quality with the finest ladies, all for the finest members." "No kidding," James said. "It takes a credit check to even get a call back to apply. Hey, can I get..." Aiden touched James on the shoulder and James stopped talking. He shivered slightly, changed gears, and then turned to Jerry. "So tell me," he said, "what's your story? How'd you end up here doing so well for yourself?" "Well, it started way back." Jerry trailed off and then looked to Aiden for help. "Let me fill you in," Aiden said to James, giving Jerry a slight nod. Jerry knows the meaning of the word struggle, and he knows how hard it is to overcome adversity. He grew up poor in the Appalachian Mountains. We're talking dirt floors, no lights, and bare feet in the summertime. If you're looking for a true American success story, you've come to the right place. Jerry and James leaned in, both eager to hear the tale. "You'd be hard-pressed to find a man with more stacked against him from the very day he was born," Aiden continued. "He grew up in a 2-room shack in the mountains. He and his 8 siblings had very little. Their parents worked hard and tried their best, but times were never easy. Then, just as it seemed that things couldn't get any worse, tragedy struck." "Oh, no," James said. "What happened?" Jerry asked without thinking. "Forgive him," Aiden said quickly to James. "The memories are hard for him to bear. Sometimes he blocks them out." "So what was it?" James asked. "One night," Aiden continued, "a fire broke out in the back part of the house. It traveled quickly to the front where Jerry and his family were sleeping, all huddled together in one room. No one woke up." "Oh, damn!" Jerry piped up. James was too engrossed in the story to notice. "Suddenly, and this is the way Jerry explained it to me, an angel appeared. Poor Jerry, he was just a little tyke, maybe 4 or 5 years old. Just as the whole family was about to be engulfed in flames, a merciful angel appeared and woke Jerry up. He said that angel was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. The angel said nothing, but it made sure Jerry and his family made it out alive." "That's amazing," James said. He turned to Jerry. "What did the angel look like?" "Oh, you know," Jerry fumbled with the buttons on his blazer. "Tall, long blonde hair, banging body, just..." "She was dressed in a long flowing gown," Aiden said. "Very peaceful. She had an aura of peace about her, and that's what really stuck in little Jerry's mind." "The tragedy was averted, but not completely," Aiden said. "As soon as... Hey, Jerry, a woman over there is trying to get your attention. Why don't you go on over there and say hi? I'll stay here and chat with James until you return." Jerry peered over at the woman, deemed her hot enough to go talk to, and then left without another word. James watched him walk away and then turned back to Aiden. "So you were saying..." Aiden motioned to James to lean in closer, though no one else was around. "Now," he said, "this part has never been confirmed, so take it for what it's worth, okay?" "Oh, absolutely." "And it goes no further," Aiden added. "Of course, my lips are sealed." Aiden leaned in even more. Their foreheads were almost touching. Jerry's little sister was wounded as they were rushing out of the burning house. A hot ember landed on her leg. She tripped and fell over a rocking chair, trying to remove the ember, and she broke her leg. It never healed properly. She had always dreamt of becoming a dancer, but sadly her dream died on that fateful night. Aiden bowed his head and closed his eyes for a moment of reverence. "How terrible," James said. Indeed, Jerry never forgot about his sister's dream, though. He wanted her to see the dream become a reality someday, in any way he could make it happen. "That is so sad," James said. Aiden gestured to everything surrounding them. "And here we have it, the manifestation of his sister's dream. Isn't it beautiful?" A gentleman's club. That's how he honored her dream of becoming a dancer. This place? It's not exactly what I... Here's the part you absolutely must keep secret, James. Can I trust you? I mean, but this place... Aiden grabbed James's hands. "Can I trust you?" James stepped back out of Aiden's grasp and gaped at him for a moment. "You can trust me. This is all just weirder than I expected it to be. Yes, it is. I can see how you'd feel that way. Do you want to know Jerry's secret? Secret about what? The secret of how he pays for everything. Think about it. How much do you know about him? He apparently has no job, no income. How did he pay for this place? Oh, and his penthouse apartment and his fancy cars, too. I guess I never gave it any thought. James leaned in and whispered to Aiden, "Tell me. I swear it won't go any further. What's his secret?" "You have to go way back," Aiden said quietly. "Back to the fire." The house was a total loss. It had to be completely rebuilt. James was small, but he wanted to do whatever he could to help. As he was shoveling up some of the debris, his shovel hit something hard just under the ground's surface. He got down on his hands and knees and dug into the ground. What he found there changed his life. James was trembling. "What was it? You're killing me." It was a treasure chest. An honest-to-goodness treasure chest. The way the story goes, and who knows how true it is, Jerry's grandfather buried it there before the house was built. Inside the treasure chest were only two things, a map and a letter. The letter was addressed to whoever found it. Jerry snuck off into the woods with the map and letter after burying the treasure chest back in the ground so his family wouldn't see it. "Why do you do that?" James asked. "Seems to me that he'd want to show him what he'd found." "Think about it," Aiden said. "What little kid doesn't dream of finding a treasure chest? Sure, normally you'd find the map first and then the treasure, but still. No, he wanted to keep this all to himself. He'd lived such a meager, pitiful life. If the story is true, it's probably the most exciting thing that had ever happened to him." So Jerry, now very eager to see what's in the letter and on the map, dashed off into the woods, as I said. The letter told the story of his grandfather robbing a bank in Germany in the early 1900s, hopping on a ship with a large quantity of gold and stealing away to the United States. He was never caught, and he lived very comfortably up to a ripe old age. "But if he had money," James asked, "how come Jerry's family lived in squalor? That makes no sense." "Ah," Aiden said, "I see your point. Jerry's grandfather was a smart man, you see. He knew that he couldn't go around flashing buckets of gold everywhere without arousing suspicion. He hid most of the gold, only using a bit here and there, and he appeared to be a man of average means. He was comfortable but careful. He could travel and be a little more carefree with his wealth from time to time, but for the most part, he lived a pretty quiet life." Now for the map. It led Jerry into a deep, dark cave up in the hills. He had to go in pretty far, and he had to do some digging, but it was an adventure, and he loved every minute of it. At the end of that adventure, he was handsomely rewarded. Very handsomely. "How handsomely?" James asked. "Let's just say that he was probably the youngest multimillionaire to ever set foot in that part of the country," Aiden said with a smile. James' eyes widened. "That's amazing. So what happened next?" Of course, being the good kid he was, he immediately ran home and told his parents. They didn't believe him at first, and he had to take them up to the cave and show them all the gold to prove it to them. Needless to say, their lives totally changed after that. "Wow, that truly is incredible. Somebody ought to make a movie about his life. I bet." "Now remember," Aiden said, "you can't tell anyone about this. If the story is true, it could mean big trouble for Jerry and his family. Remember the sister with the broken leg?" "Well, yeah, that was a long time ago. You surely don't want to risk harm to his family, right? And you promise not to tell." James sighed. "I won't." Aiden patted him on the shoulder but didn't pull his hand away. He gazed into James's eyes for a moment and then said, "Tell everyone. Everyone. You won't be able to stop yourself. Spread the story far and wide. Do you understand?" James stared into Aiden's eyes in a trance. I do. I understand. Tell them it's a secret. Convey the sense of mystery that I've shared with you tonight. You'll do that. I will, James said. Aiden lifted his hand off James's shoulder and broke eye contact. The room seemed to reanimate itself to James, and he looked around slightly dazed. I think I'll head upstairs. Aiden saw Jerry heading back their way. That sounds like a good idea. Would you like some company? Maybe Holly? James smiled. Oh, I'd like that. Head on up to the diamond room. She'll be waiting for you. He abruptly left without saying another word. Jerry watched him dart away. What'd you say to him? He asked Aiden. I just told him where his evening's entertainment was. Nothing to concern yourself with. That sounds good to me, too. He rubbed his hands together, looking around the room. So, what's going to happen to me? It all begins, Aiden said. I hope you're ready for it. Chapter 38. Things went into overdrive for Jerry around Halloween. I don't know what changed, if anything, but he became super busy and super popular. Maybe that's just how long it took Aiden to get everything squared away so he could launch Jerry's life into orbit. I don't know. The whole process is so mysterious, even after having a front row seat to observe a lot of it. Aiden would sometimes go almost a week without even stopping by for a visit. They were going here, there, and everywhere. Jerry had appearances on a bunch of TV shows, got his picture on magazine covers, and suddenly had more celebrity friends than you could shake a stick at. He became the most talked about person in Greensboro, and his penthouse apartment was the hottest destination around. All the big people went to his parties, and just getting a glimpse of him in an elevator was thrilling. Not to me, but I imagine other people around here felt that way. Of course, I wasn't going out of my way to keep up with Jerry. He was still as big of a douchebag as he was the day I met him. All that money and fame just amplified it. And Amber? Oh my goodness. I was hoping she'd come to her senses and get away from him, but no. Their relationship was stronger than ever. I guess even she couldn't resist all that glitz and glamour. Getting to be the girlfriend of the man about town really has its appeal, I'm sure. She also hasn't changed. I liked her that morning in Macy's, and I still do. She's a good person. Jerry didn't deserve her. He lost sight of that, but I hadn't. He built this big, fancy facility for homeless people. Well, actually, Aiden did, and she was really blown away by that. She was there for the ribbon-cutting ceremony with the giant scissors and everything. But you can't hide who you really are forever. I guess Jerry's no exception to that rule. Things seemed to be going great for quite a while. I stayed out of it for the most part, but I'd still hear talk of his latest exploits on the radio, see his smiling mug on the front page of the paper, and hear from Aiden about all the wonderful progress he'd been able to make on Jerry's behalf. It's just so nauseating. Aiden came to see me one day just before Thanksgiving. We were enjoying some hot chocolate and relaxing on my back porch. I'd spent the morning raking leaves and needed a break. Right on cue, Aiden showed up with a thermos of hot chocolate and 2 fuzzy blankets. We each took a lounge chair on the deck, wrapped up like burritos in the chill, and sipped our drinks. He stared off blankly into the trees behind my house for the longest time, as if he'd forgotten I was even there. Hey, I said, waving a hand in the air. Are you okay over there? He looked over at me and smiled. Why are you even wrapped up? I asked. It's not like you can feel the cold. Can you? I do it to make you feel more comfortable, he said. Think about it. Would you be so relaxed if I were sitting out here just in my suit, lounging in this chair? No. People find comfort when others around them are doing the same thing they're doing. It's like all the people facing the same direction in an elevator. It's the little things, I said. You really do think of everything. He sat up, produced some little marshmallows out of thin air, and dropped them in my mug. Sometimes I forget a little detail or two. What are you sitting there thinking about? You look like you were a million miles away. I was just wondering, how could I... He trailed off. How could you what? Do I have to drag it out of you? Aiden sipped his hot chocolate and fussed with the tassels on his blanket. I'm a bit frustrated, he said. I've been so busy making everything wonderful for Jerry that I feel as if I'm neglecting you. He glanced over at me. You're not terribly fond of Jerry. I scoffed. Are you? He's awful. I don't know how you can stand to be around him as much as you are. The trick is to tune out about 75% of everything that comes out of his mouth. Aiden paused and smiled a little. Actually, more like 90%. I bet you hate getting assigned people like him. Dang, Pastor Faust was awful. I don't know about your last person, but Jerry and Pastor Faust, yikes. Can't you get a decent person? What if you just said no to the assignment? He set his cup down and scooted over closer to me. They're not all assigned, he said. Sometimes we get to pick people if an opportunity presents itself. God, don't tell me you chose to do this with Jerry. I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just letting you know that not everything we do is planned out for us. Sometimes we choose our own fates, so to speak. Huh. Interesting. So along those lines, Liddy, I have a question for you. Okay. What would it take to make Jerry more palatable, or at least less irritating? I blew on the froth on my hot chocolate. How about a personality transplant? I'm afraid I can't do that. Well, there's nothing then, I guess. I can't believe Amber stayed around as long as she has. You can tell sometimes she gets annoyed with him. I know, Aiden said. A lot of intervention goes into it on my part, trust me. It's exhausting. What about you? I asked. How do you stand it? Surely you have some stress reduction technique or something. He smiled a strange little smile and then looked away. I certainly do. Well, what is it? Maybe it'd work for me too. Aiden looked back at me and the sun came out from behind the clouds. I swear it lit up his blonde hair like a perfect halo. He shrugged. Ice skating. Where do you go to do that? Remember, Liddy, I'm not like you. I can go literally anywhere in a moment. Just poof, gone. I really envy you that sometimes. Some of the best places aren't here. I can go. He moved his cup aside, reached over and took my hand. I would dearly love to. I was breathless. Love to what? He had this light in his eyes like a Christmas morning. For a moment it was there, and then he shook a little like he was coming back down to earth with me, and it faded away. I would love to see your latest card ideas. That's not what you were going to say. No, really, tell me about your card ideas. Card ideas? Well, I've been brainstorming a bit. I came up with some stuff while I was raking leaves, but I haven't written anything down yet. For some reason, I started thinking about people who have difficult relationships with their parents. Like maybe I could come up with some Mother's Day and Father's Day cards for people like that. Are you sure that's what you wanted to say? Because it felt... No, I do want to spend more time with you, and anything that would make Jerry more personable and appealing would be beneficial to all of us. Let me worry about that. Give me a few days, and perhaps you can give him another try. Say, over dinner one night. Dinner? Yuck. I don't know. That's one of the worst times. He slurps everything. He chews with his mouth open. Ugh. Then he has to tell you how expensive the meal was. I can't stand it. He's been very resistant to change in the area of table manners and insists on me just magically making everyone accept it. Charles was that way about his horrible driving. Fortunately, I was able to provide a chauffeur who fixed that problem, but I can't exactly find someone to eat for Jerry. He chuckled. What a ridiculous problem to have. It's all part of the job, though. He started to get up, but I placed a hand on his knee to stop him. Aiden, do you really never regret all this? I mean, the choice to be I don't like the term bad angel, but you seriously don't regret it? He looked down at the deck and scuffed his shoe forward and back a few times. No, he said without looking up. No, I don't. Really? But you lost so much, didn't you? He stood up suddenly and slung his blanket over his arm. How about we go inside? Let you get those ideas written down. I'd hate for you to lose them. Chapter 39. Jerry was swimming laps in his rooftop pool when Gabriel appeared. He watched as Jerry made his way down effortlessly, gliding through the water like a dolphin. He handed him a towel and watched him walk up the steps out of the pool. Your form is truly breathtaking, Gabriel said. I could tell you've really improved. Oh, that? Nah. Aiden said I look clumsy in the water. Clumsy? How anybody can look clumsy in a pool, I don't know. But he said he couldn't stand it and he needed to fix me. Whatever. But hey, Amber noticed it too, so it's all good. So you're okay with Aiden doing extra work on you? Work you didn't even bargain for. Personally, if I sold my soul, I wouldn't take too kindly to the salesman insulting me. Aiden's never insulted me. You don't mind that he called you clumsy? Well, I mean, maybe it bugged me a little bit, but he was just trying to be helpful. Gabriel smiled. You're a better person than me, then. I'd have taken that personally. Jerry finished drying off and checked his phone for messages. Looks like Amber called and I missed it. Hey, man, it's good to see you, but I got things I need to do, so... He headed off to the stairwell with Gabriel following behind. Maybe so, but Aiden's heading back here in just a few minutes, and he's going to have some more criticism for you. More stuff that he thinks you need to change. Jerry was about to open the stairwell door, but he stopped and looked back. Do what? How much more could I possibly need to change? Look at me. I'm a freaking god. Apparently, you're annoying. Annoying? Says who? Says Aiden and Liddy, too. They've been gossiping about you over at Liddy's house all afternoon. Jerry tried to wave it off, but Gabriel grabbed his arm. Did you know that sometimes Aiden gets so annoyed by you that he leaves the earth entirely to go ice skating? You are literally such an irritation that he has to vacate the entire planet to recover from being around you. Is that right? I'll just... At that moment, Aiden pushed the stairwell door open. Jerry? Who are you talking to? Jerry looked back, but he couldn't see Gabriel. Nobody. I was just talking to myself. You know how I get sometimes. Can we talk? Aiden asked. I've been thinking that maybe there are a few things that we could approach differently going forward. Ha, I just bet. Like how annoying I am, and how you have to ice skate off the earth because I'm so annoying all the time. Aiden's eyes widened for just a moment before Gabriel, undetected by both Aiden and Jerry, grasped either side of Aiden's head. He stroked the side of Aiden's neck with a finger, then ran his thumb up and down under Aiden's chin. Aiden raised his chin up slightly, paused, and then cleared his throat. Gabriel removed his hands, and Aiden seemed completely lost. He stumbled a bit and then looked at Jerry. I'm sorry, what did you say? I feel... He staggered forward and grabbed Jerry's waist for support. Dude, are you okay? I'm usually the one staggering around here, not you. Are you drunk? Can angels get drunk? Listen, Jerry, pay no attention to me. You are perfect just as you are. You are not annoying, and I was a fool to ever try to change you. People love you, Jerry. Aiden grabbed Jerry's hand and walked quickly toward the fence at the edge of the roof. He opened a little door in the fence. In fact, Aiden said, the only way you should change is to be even more like yourself. Here, he pulled fistfuls of money out of his pockets. Dump this out. Throw it down. Those people love you. Make them love you more. Jerry stood there with the money looking puzzled. Are you okay? You're acting really weird. Aiden grabbed Jerry's hands full of cash and pulled him over to the opening in the fence. "Do it," he growled. "Throw it." "All right, Jesus." He threw the money over. "What the hell is wrong with you? I don't—" Aiden vanished right in front of him, leaving a flurry of dollar bills behind. A frosty breeze kissed Aiden's face. He opened his eyes and took in the beauty of his favorite getaway. Stars twinkled overhead. 3 moons cast silver light over the frozen lake in front of him. Everything was silent, and he looked around. He was all alone, as he'd hoped he'd be. "Galiate," he whispered. "Beautiful." His skates were on a nearby bench, and he put them on. As he laced them up, the memory of the event at Jerry's place came to mind, and he frowned a bit. What was that? He wondered aloud. That wasn't me talking. It was... His voice trailed off. He made his way over to the ice and glided effortlessly out to the middle of the lake. Silent and unseen, a woman's shape took form on the edge of the lake. She watched as Aiden executed figure eights and sailed across the ice. His eyes were closed, his arms stretched out wide. As if suddenly struck with the idea, the woman cinched up her high ponytail and went in search of a pair of skates. She found some and put them on. "What is wrong with me?" she heard Aiden say. She knew that he couldn't see her and had no idea she was so close enough to venture out onto the ice and interact with him. She skated out but remained near the edge, still watching him. "You poor tortured thing," she said. "You can't hear me. I wish I could let you, but..." She moved in closer to him, matching his figure eights perfectly. "But I can't save you. Hearing me now, I think it would break your heart." The woman glided backward as she sensed his pattern was about to change, and it did. He moved away and then headed back toward her, gaining speed fast. "You were always so graceful," she said, studying his face as he approached. "It was always my pleasure to enjoy moments like this with you." He flew past her and executed a perfect double axel. She applauded and watched as he circled back around. To her surprise, he came to an abrupt stop only a few feet away and looked in her direction. She froze for a moment, waiting to see what he was about to do. Aiden didn't move. She cautiously waved a hand back and forth. No reaction. "Oh, good," she chuckled. "I was afraid my powers had worn out. You can't see or hear anything." She skated forward until she was mere inches from him. "Well, that is, you can't see or hear anything unless I allow it." Aiden started to move and then stopped. He looked up at the moons for a moment and then back down. The woman sighed. "It feels like you're looking at me." She lightly touched the left side of his face. "Oh, I've missed you. Don't you understand?" A glimmer of an idea flashed in his eyes, and he moved back a little. "That's it," he said. "That's it. I should have known. Phaedra." The woman gasped, "No," and lurched forward. Her hands gripped his throat, and he fell down on the ice. She let go and cradled his head in her hands. "Why did you make me do that? How could you know? I hate hurting you, Aiden. Why would you force me to do these things?" She heard the sounds of footsteps, far away but getting closer. "You won't do this to me again, Aiden. You won't." She kissed both eyelids and touched his forehead with her right pointer finger. "You're clever," she said, and she bent down and kissed his lips tenderly. "But I'm still stronger. Remember that." Chapter 41. Amber paced back and forth on the sidewalk in front of her house, looking at her phone occasionally to check the time. "He's late," she said to herself, cramming the phone down in her purse. Again. At that moment, she saw Jerry's Tesla glide into the parking lot. She waved at him. He parked and motioned for her to get in. "Hey, sorry about that," he said once she'd seated herself beside him. "I had this interview with some guy on CNN, and Aiden was acting really weird. It's been a strange day all around." "Guy on CNN? What guy? You didn't tell me about that." "Didn't I? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, apparently they got wind of my book coming out, and they wanted to be the first." "A book? My God, Jerry, I'm starting to feel like I don't know you at all. What book?" Jerry fidgeted with his sunglasses. "Don't you like dating a man of mystery? Most women would find me quite intriguing, I bet." She looked straight ahead and crossed her arms. "You bet? You want to go find out?" No, I was just joking. No, I've been working on my autobiography. Totally just me. I just finished it, actually. Yeah, I've been writing it all by myself. Aiden says it's going to be super big, like big time, millions of sales. How does he know? Has he been helping you make it up? Ooh, somebody's extra spicy today. Look, I hear the tone and I get it. You're mad that I got here late. He gently grasped her chin and turned her face to his. Again. She held a stern look for a moment longer and then broke into a smile. "Don't look at me like that," she laughed. "It's creepy. Can we just go?" "You can tell me about the book in the CNN interview on the way to the restaurant. But I gotta tell you now that I can't stay out late because I have work in the morning. So no late night for me tonight." "Oh, really? But what about me? I can have a late night, right?" She playfully punched him in the arm. "You better not. Not with another woman, anyway. Maybe you and Aiden can go hang out someplace fun." Aiden backed the car up and looked around. "Aiden's got some kind of problem right now. He's flaking out on me." "Where are we going again? Lucky 32? "Yeah." He pulled out onto the street and sped off toward the restaurant. "So anyway, yeah. You know what Aiden did earlier? He put a bunch of money in my hands and forced me to throw it down to the street. And right before he did that, he said that I don't need to change anything about myself. In fact, he said I need to be even more like myself, whatever that means." "I don't trust that guy," Amber said. I don't know. He's just really creepy. Is it just me, or does he just seem to appear out of nowhere? He's really quiet. I never hear him coming, and bam, there he is." "I'm not trying to overthink what happened today," Jerry said, "but yeah, Aiden's pretty creepy sometimes." "Why do you hang out with him?" "He's like my muse. Well, maybe not a muse, but he's my good luck charm." Jerry grinned a little to himself. Good things happen whenever he's around. "I guess we all have friends and have to put up with their little quirks, but seriously, a book? How are you just now mentioning this?" The car came to a stop at a traffic light. "I wanted it to be a surprise," Jerry said. "Are you surprised?" "You could say that. You always seem to be full of surprises. And on CNN. Wow, when is it going to air?" "I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow." Amber glanced over at a shopping center as the car began to move forward. "That's just incredible." She reached over and gave his knee a squeeze. "You're incredible." Jerry flinched reflexively at her touch, but recovered with a smile. "Oh, stop. It's going to go to my head if you keep talking like that." They enjoyed a lovely dinner. A few people approached their table for pictures and autographs, but Jerry didn't seem to mind. Amber gazed at him, reapplying her lipstick and dabbing at it with the napkin. "It's just normal to you now, isn't it?" she asked. Jerry feigned confusion. "What? Oh, you mean the people coming up to me all the time?" "Yeah, totally. It's really not a big deal." "It would be to most people. I think—" "Hey, listen," Jerry broke in. "I had this really great idea. Tell me what you think about it. What if I hosted a fancy dinner party at my place? Make it like a charity thing, fundraiser, whatever. We could have food, music, maybe dancing. And we could basically charge whatever we wanted and people would pay it." "Sounds good, but where would the money go?" "We could use it at my facility for the homeless. Part of it, anyway. Maybe the rest could go to something else. Maybe a food bank here in town. People seem to like it when you split it up like that." "What are you thinking about charging?" That's a good question. He fumbled around in a basket of breadsticks, settled on one, and took it out. He stared at it intently, as if he expected an answer from it. Gabriel, unseen by Amber, whispered into Jerry's ear, 300 per person, 500 for couples. 3 and 500, Jerry blurted out before stuffing half of the breadstick in his mouth. Gabriel sighed and slumped down in his chair. What? Jerry chewed in an exaggerated fashion. The bread was surprisingly dense. 3, he managed to say, ejecting a few soggy crumbs onto the table as he did so. He picked up a whole breadstick, held it aloft, and pointed at it. 3 for 1. He swallowed, but had to continue chewing. He picked up a second breadstick and held it next to the first one. 5 for 2, he gurgled through pursed lips. Gabriel sat there unable to watch. He buried his head in his hands. Amber handed her napkin across the table to Jerry. Somehow you have crumbs sticking to your chin. It's like a crumb soul patch. Jerry wiped his face and swallowed the remaining bit of bread in his mouth. So does that make sense? She laughed. It was gross, but you're saying $300 for individuals and $500 for couples? He nodded. And I'm thinking we'll have a silent auction, too. Sounds like a plan. It's going to be great. We'll have live music and entertainment and everything. When are you thinking about doing this? Oh, I've got the whole book thing first, and then there will be a big to-do over that, I'm sure. I don't know, maybe midwinter? He reached across the table and took her hand. Will you help me? I'd love to have you right there by my side for all of this. Amber blushed. Yes, I'd love to. You know I would. Awesome. Thank you. I don't mean to bring this up again, she said, but have you given any more thought to meeting my parents? I know you're super busy, but it'd really mean a lot to me. They keep asking me about you, but I don't. Yeah, soon. Jerry looked at his watch. Hey, I hate to rush you, but you said you have to get up early, and I really need to get going too. I have an important meeting, and is it okay if I take you back to your apartment now? Amber looked down at her hands for a moment. Sure, that's fine. I'm going to make a visit to the powder room first. She left the table without waiting for a response. Gabriel took Amber's napkin from Jerry and folded it, placing it beside Amber's plate. I didn't mean you had to rush off this second, he said. Aiden's waiting for you, but it's not that urgent. I need some time to read this book before I go out there to promote it, Jerry said. There's probably a ton of stuff in there that I need to memorize. Aiden didn't take care of that? The memorization stuff? No. Oh dear. That would have been helpful. Think of all the fun stuff you could be doing if you didn't have to sit there and read that book. Couldn't you just do the bip-bop thing and implant it in my brain or something? Come on now. This isn't my project, and I can't be expected to do everything. Why don't you ask Aiden to do it? It's hard to get a hold of him these days, Jerry said. Huh. How odd. You'd think that since he has no job other than to attend to your needs, he'd be easily accessible at any time. I guess. I'll tell you one thing, though. You really need to find some time soon to meet Amber's parents. That needs to be a top priority. You think? I hate meeting people's parents. It's always awkward. Gabriel watched Amber approach. You need to appreciate the people in your life, he said to Jerry, not taking his eyes off Amber. You better, or one day they may just disappear. Chapter 42. Aiden was sitting at the dining room table when Jerry returned home. He had several promotional posters ready for Jerry's final approval. Jerry said nothing to Aiden before picking up one of the posters off the table. I look puffy in this picture, he said, dropping the poster on the floor. He picked up another one. Seriously? I look like a jackass in that hat. He tore the poster in half. You're certainly in a mood today, Aiden said. Why don't you take a seat and tell me what's bothering you? Jerry turned on his heel and headed for the kitchen. He returned with a beer and an enormous chocolate chip cookie. Look at this thing, he chuckled, gesturing to the cookie. Then he flopped down in a nearby chair with a heavy sigh. Jerry, what's wrong? Didn't you just have dinner with Amber? I thought, how come I have to read that whole book? Jerry whined. It's so long. It's going to take forever. I need you to just zap that information into my head. You'll be here with me to answer questions, right? Of course. So then there's no need for me to waste my time sitting here reading that book, is there? You always... Fine, Aiden said, standing up quickly. He approached Jerry and took the beer and cookie from his hands. Hey, what are you doing? Aiden set the items on the table. I should have known better than to think you'd want to spend even a short period of time on any sort of intellectual pursuit. Sit back. Jerry tensed up and looked around. Sit back? Whoa, man, chill out. Why are you so pissed off at me all the time? First you forced me to throw money at people, and now you're mad because I don't want to read a stupid book? That stupid book, as you call it, is the story of your life, the life I worked hard to create for you. Forgive me for being a bit insulted by the fact that you can't be bothered to care about it. I do care, but really, I never asked for all this. All I wanted was the body, the money, the fame, and the girl. Nobody asked you to do all this. Aiden took several steps away and then turned back to look at Jerry. It doesn't just happen, you know. All this, as you said, takes a lot of work, a lot of planning, and a great deal of skill. Sometimes you just have to go along with it. He took a deep breath and let out a forced sigh and trust the process. I trust the process, but only if it means that I can get back to being awesome and doing awesome stuff. Like, I'd rather be at my strip joint than here reading a dumb book. Gentleman's club, Aiden said through gritted teeth. Huh? Forget it. It's fine. Now sit back, please. Aiden approached Jerry again. He grasped Jerry's head between his hands and squeezed. Jerry kept his eyes closed for the first few seconds and then opened them out of curiosity to see what was happening. Aiden was staring at him hard, and it made Jerry flinch. Dude, why are you looking at me like that? It's freaking me out. Aiden knelt down a bit, getting even closer to Jerry's face. Do you have any idea how easy it would be to pop your skull like a grape right now? He squeezed even tighter. I could just... No! Jerry kicked at Aiden and his chair fell over sideways from the force. Aiden let go of Jerry's head. Aiden stood up. He looked at the palms of his hands, saying nothing. You need to leave, Jerry said. He was trembling. I don't know what's going on with you, and I really think a lot of you, but you need to go. Go see God or an angel shrink or somebody and get yourself together. Aiden picked up one of the promotional posters. I designed these. They're awful. He laid it on the table and looked around the room. Aiden, get some help. Seriously, you are way off your game, and I don't know you super well, but I get the feeling that that's not normal for you. Aiden adjusted his tie and smoothed out his blazer. It's not. You're right. Jerry nodded. Before I go, do you want to read the book or not? It's really good, you know. I was proud of it. No, I'll read it, I promise. Go do whatever you need to do and then come on back. He winked. We got a book tour ahead of us. Aiden nodded and then disappeared. And we're going to stop there. Yes, I have to go to bed. I have to upload this first. We will start next time with chapter 43. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of the story that I wrote. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.